93 Days, the Steve Gukas directed movie on the dark period when Ebola virus disease threatened public health in Nigeria. It finally hits the big screens in Nigeria, and trust Entertainment News to bring you the glitz and the glamour from the red carpet. But before then, let's take us to see the cast and crew relive the filming experience at a pre-event press conference.
The cast and crew of the highly anticipated Ebola experience in Nigeria gathered for a press conference just before the red carpet premiere of the movie. The host, Pastor Paul Adefarasi, expresses excitement about the premiere and how the film can positively influence society at large.
The screenplay was truly fabulous, the production world-class, and the character portrayal absolutely phenomenal. On behalf of Brand Nigeria, permit me to say very, very, very well done. And to the Nigerian movie industry, you truly have come of age. Your art will help us reshape the nation's value systems and reset our cultural norms for progress, development, and a national sense of purpose. We expect many, many more movies from the crucible of your collaborative endeavors so that together we can arise and reshape the future for the unborn generations of Nigerians with this powerful medium of storytelling through movie making.
The movie held its world premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival recently to full capacity audiences, and before then had also screened at the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services in the USA. Director Steve Gukas revealed that the reception from the international community was truly humbling.
And the reception was very warm, and we had people really fall in love with the film. We had people coming up to us to say things that are unbelievable. We left Toronto feeling like we've had a very surreal experience. Dr. and I were standing just before we left, before the last screening, and this gentleman walks up to us and shakes my hands and goes, "Thank you very much for making this film. I've seen 7 films this year, and this is the best film I have seen. And I'm hoping that this film gets nominated for an Oscar." And I wanted to say about this is not qualifying for the Oscar, but that's the kind of reaction that we'll be getting.
If we'll get patients, it's when we'll get them. But the real question is, will we be ready to receive them when they get here?
It is now time for us to do the job that we are here to do.
We can do this. I know what Ebola can do. Trust me, nothing terrifies me more.
The movie, which demonstrates the bravery of the late Dr. Stella Adadevoh and her colleagues during their encounter with the late American librarian Patrick Sawyer, who was the index case of the Ebola virus disease in Nigeria, stars American legendary actor Danny Glover and Bimbo Akintola as Dr. Adadevoh. The proximity of the actual event to the time of shooting provides the filmmakers an experience that brings some of the real-life individuals in contact with their characters.
We filmed at First Consultant, not just at First Consultant, but in the very ward that Sawyer was, that he died in. That's where we filmed it. So we filmed on the floor where he was. And when we went to Yaba, we filmed in the actual wards, the isolation wards where the patients were kept in isolation. And it came with its own advantages, and more so than disadvantages. For example, it's not every day that you're on set filming something, and I'm shooting a scene with Gideon, who plays Maurice, and we're having a conversation, and I say, "Please, can you get me Maurice?" And they go and bring the real Maurice up, and you say to the real Maurice, "Maurice, could you refresh?" It is a rare opportunity to be able to film in that kind of circumstance. So that's the sort of advantage we had at First Consultant, and again when we're in Yaba, it was the same kind of advantage because the chief medical director there was one of the volunteers who works with the patients. The ambulance drivers that were actually picking the patients and bringing them to the hospital were there. The guys that were assisting with moving out bodies and moving the sick room. So we had not just the actual locations, but in most cases, the actual people.
See them when they get here.
It is now time for us to do the job that we are here to do.
We can do this. I know what Ebola can do. Trust me, nothing terrifies me more. The only way to deal with this bastard is to deal with it.
The cast and crew, there's psychological issues they had to deal with because we're filming in locations where Ebola had actually taken place. I know for a fact that the costume unit, some of them came to me on a daily basis to say, "Ma, I think I'm experiencing Ebola." I'm stomach pain, and honestly, because they started feeling that they were symptomatic and they were feeling all these things because they were actually next to the TB section in Yaba. So all of these things they were relieving it.
Is this what you are willing to allow to happen in this city?
Most of us live our lives without ever really understanding how connected we are.
Stay back, stay back.
But then one day, something happens. Something that changes the way you look at the world. Changes your life forever.